Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Suna Valo.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Suna Valo. This is a review copy provided to us by the publisher.
Suna Valo is a two-player only card-based game where you can buy the opponent's cards. If you want to know more, then watch this video that starts right now. In this game, you are buying cards. You are buying cards to place in all of these rows. When I buy a new card, let's say I take this card right here, I will place it down here and I will activate every card I have in this row. That is basically mostly what you are going to do in the game. You're trying by doing that to get resources that you will place in these different places for resources. You use those resources to mostly deliver to these orders and to the ship orders, which is a special action you can do. In the beginning of the game, only one of these are going to be open on each side, and they're going to open throughout the game. You're going to play 3 different eras, which has like a couple of different incomes and stuff in between them, but mostly you're going to continue playing these cards, mostly 6 to 7 rounds each of them. At the end of a round, if there is not 3 cards in your display, you're going to have to take one from the share display here and place it in your display, and then there's a number on it when you are going to place then as many resources as that number or more, which then shows the price that I have basically prepaid for the card, but also the price you have to pay if you want to buy that card from me. Then you're going to play it, as you said, to the end of the game, and the player who had the most points at the end is going to be the winner of Suna Valo.
The most interesting mechanism in this game, according to me, is how you get your cards, because everything you do in this game revolves around these cards. And it's interesting because this reminds me a little bit of Isle of Skye.
Yes.
Because there also you have 3 in that game tiles, and you decide, you set the price. You would think about 2 things in both this game and in Isle of Skye. What am I willing to lose if I get the card myself? But if you get it from me, what I think is a reasonable price. And in this game, what kind of resources do I want you to pay? So do I see, I can look over to you, I can see, oh, you have a lot of flowers now. It will be easy for you to buy my card, or you don't have any flowers. If I set, you need to pay flowers for this, I might be secure that card myself, which is really interesting. But in this game, that mechanism doesn't feel like it does in Isle of Skye. What do you think?
The first half of the first game, it felt super weird because I didn't understand the concept and the flow. So every time something happens, like, this is not how my brain thought it would be. My brain was like, you don't like this. But then when you got over that edge of, oh, this is super weird and different, but in a super cool way. I've never seen it done in this way before. This is like the strength of the game. I'm guessing this is where like the design comes from. This is like the core, I don't know, but it's like feels like the core concept of the game where everything else revolves around it. What I think is very cool, which feels very different, and you can play this very interactive. Like, I can be in a position where there's 3 cards here, I'm gonna choose one of those cards, and there's really not one card I want. But I know that you really want this card. So I can take that and I can then place resources on it that I know you have. But up until a point where that's going to hurt for you to pay, but you really need to buy that card. So then you're going to buy that from me, so I get a lot of more resources if I have room for them, which I can then use to do things I actually want to do, which makes it so, but you can also play it like you do, more of like a in my own brain.
I'm only buying my own cards. You could also buy from this common supply here, but then it will cost you 3, 2, and 1 additional resources if you would like to do it that way.
And what another thing that's really cool with this is that when you buy my card, I basically get a card for free. It feels like that, you don't get it for free, but if you buy a card from me and there's a card here I really want, I can take it, I can put the bare minimum of resource on it, and then just take it on my turn.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a price, consolidation price that you bought my card, but now I get to choose another one. One thing I have to say about these resources and placing them on cards, you're prepaying for cards. I never seen that before. And the longer into the game you get, the more expensive the resources or the cards get. There's only cards here that cost 3. And you already have few resources, and you know you're going to have to take one of those cards, and you know you're going to have to pay 3 resources on it. that feels very brutal.
Yes, for sure. It's that balance between, okay, I need resources to fulfill these orders. I also need to actually do the orders and do the things that give me points, but I also need resources to just like put here.
Yes. And you basically, as I said, you pay for them already, and everything is about like resource management and timing.
Yes, for sure, because you have limited space for your resources. For example, here I only have 1, 2, 3 crates to place either these water lily thingies or grain. And I would then want to activate the cards when I actually do have room for them, when I produce more. I also want to decide if, for example, this card, if I buy this, I can either place it in this column right here because it has 2 colors, then I get more stuff, but this game is also very lucrative to get 1 of each because when you complete like a set of all these 5 different cards, 6, this one also, yes, and then you will get to activate everything in that row or get 5 points. And 5 points in this game is quite a lot.
Yeah, because in many games you feel like 5 points, that's not a lot. But when you get like 60 to 70 points, at least that's what we have usually gotten, then 5 points is starting to be quite a lot. This game feels a lot like a race because you have these opportunities opening up, and especially down here with the ships, where you basically skip a turn, you get a card less, a card gets discarded, but you get to basically place a ship, pay all the resources at once, and then you get like a bonus. And you're going to get points. And those points are a lot higher for the first player who gets there, so you try to be the first player who goes there. The same up here on these orders, but it's not like I'm going to block you from delivering because both players are going to have their side of the card which they deliver to, and you're going to get bonuses when you deliver there as well. And those you deliver with the drones, so when you have like your own personal orders, which are these cards, and you have the official, like the official orders, the orders,
shared,
the shared, that was the one that I was looking for, the shared orders that everyone can go for. So these are going to be, you're trying to do, nobody can stop you from getting that, but you're trying to do those first. So it feels like a race and you never have enough time.
Yes, for sure. And another reason you want to complete these orders and deliver to these ships is to take one of these ships, for example, from your player board, and that unlocks different things. So for example, with these 3 things, you can get like unlimited space for the resources. If you unlock these, you can advance further up on the track. That gives you abilities and final scoring, and also potentially a lot of point. You could get like resource income or make it easier for you to trade resources. For example, I would like to say that this feels like these minor things throughout the game. It doesn't feel like, haha, I did this. This is my super plan that don't feel like super awesome about it. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, it's towards the end of the game. This unlock gives me 2 points. That could be as simple as that.
There are different ways to go with doing this because like you have won every time you play it, but you also done different things on the board.
Yes.
So it's not like there is one route that you have to go, but I feel like the income stuff is going to be good. Like the first time I do an order, that is the one I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Because it's going to give me more of these like stones. And this one would be like another one that's good because you can then cheaper buy the basic resources. But when I first get the stones, it's also easier to do it. So I try to do both of those.
Another unlock is like on the track here early, because if you don't, that's the one that I've unlocked in this example.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been unlocked, I need more like of these cog symbols to get around this. So I would be able to advance on the track. It would be just like less efficient.
Yeah, I will say that this also then adds to the game not being that doesn't have like a huge variability, but it doesn't bother me because it's a fun game. I'm going to talk more about it in the final thoughts, but just this is not a game where you're going to be like, this time I'm going to do a completely different strategy. You are going to fulfill some ships. You're going to fulfill orders. You're going to fulfill orders here.
Yes.
You're going to try to get a set of cards. You might not get like 2 or 3 sets. You might do like, oh, I'm going to try to get 1 set. You might even win if you don't get a set and try to go heavily on a color if that then gives you the resources you need to actually do the things. But you are going to get resources and try to get them to contracts. So you're not doing like a completely different thing every time you play. It's a nuanced thing. So, we think you're going to like this game if you like these kind of meaty two-player games. And also, I like the fact that you can play it like you and be like, this is my things. But when I played it with a friend, it was way more playing to try to stop the other player, buying the cards they wanted. I was, as I said in the earlier, taking card I knew he wanted and hoping he would buy it. And then I was happy when he bought it because then I got more stuff and I could get a card I actually wanted to get into my tableau. And that is where I think that's where the game shines.
Yeah.
I think that if you are two people who enjoy that, it's you can't feel like these are your cards and be sad if somebody takes them.
Yes,
but
I
it's
agree.
a weird, interesting thing, the fact that you prepay for them and you get that interaction of, because sometimes it might be like it's said in the end, but it's like you have to put resources.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want
really
this
want
card.
that card. Then you could take the one you know I want.
Yeah.
And force me to buy that, either by buying resources with the stones or having the resources which I want to do for other things, wrapping up the price and not making it easy for me. So that interaction is what I think is going to make it replayable and make it more interesting. We're going to do some final thoughts. Are you ready? Before we do some final thoughts, if you enjoy what we do here on the channel, you can
Give us a victory point.
Yes, and you do that by subscribing, by clicking the subscribe button. We believe in you. It's
can
free,
do it.
and we think you can do it. You can even, if you manage to subscribe, also put down a like and a comment. And we have to say that because it's YouTube rules. And now, fun stuff. Final thoughts for Suna Valo. And Sunniva starts with Suna Valo.
Almost my name.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the design of this game. It does something that I haven't seen before with these cards. Yes, it sounded a little similar to Isle of Skye, but it doesn't feel like that. Because in this case, I might, as you said, I decide which of the cards that I will put into my display. I decide which resources I want to, I don't know, sacrifice to get the pay.
Yes, pay, that's what I call it.
And I like the puzzle and the timing of when I take the certain cards, when I trigger the certain columns, and the tactical decisions of when a new ship order gets revealed. Do I want to go for that, or do I want to use my hard-earned resources for something else? I think this is a good game. I'm going to give it a 7.
I really enjoy my time with this. This is one of those games, it's kind of, I enjoy everything about it. I feel like the card mechanism is what makes it unique. The card mechanism and the fact that I can buy from you, and you're going to be like, oh, sometimes I'm going to be very happy when you buy a card I have here. Sometimes I'm going to be very sad that you buy a card and be like, stop buying my cards. But the thing is that even though all of these like unlocking things, you're doing most of the same things, I just have fun. It's one of those games where I get that good feeling. I get that feeling of this is fun. I am really enjoying this. And I just think like and you're going to see this and you're going to know if you're going to like it or not. I feel like for me, I just like the engine building of it. I enjoy trying to masterfully, that was not the word I was trying to say because I don't do a lot of things masterfully in games, but trying to maximize, that was the word I was looking for, the resources and maximize what I do with it. I enjoy that so much that I'm going to give it an 8.
Cool.
And that is going to be the end.
Yes.
But we're going to do the keep or call.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Paddle time.
Paddle time. It's still new in the reviews. I do the keep or calls. I almost forgot it. Are you ready? Ending with the paddle. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
It's a call from me, a keep from you.
Yes.
Sometimes we disagree. And since you are the keeper, you will decide if it stays in the collection or for now.
Yes.
And I can try to call it later.
Yeah, so I really like this. My biggest problem with this game, for like a keep call thing, is that it's a 2-player only game.
Yes.
Because, this is almost a problem with me saying this, is using the same logic that you use, where you're like, we're never going to play this game again. But a 2-player only game is going to be even harder to get played. Because often when we have the chance to play some of our older favorite games, we are more than 2 people. So most of the time we are 2 people, we play games that we need to play for reviews and stuff like that, if it's not a campaign game or stuff like that. But I enjoy this one so much that I want to keep it for now.
Cool.
I think that it's one I'm going to look on the shelf and be like, I would like to play that again. And because of that, it's a keep.
It's a keep.
So that is going to be the end of this video for real this time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Suna.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.